Don't know what I was waiting for in my head, but good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I apologize. We have a late start, later than normal. Um, Put the word out. If you're on the text community, text LW into 84576. You would have known that. You would have known that. Um, be sure. Let's see. Uh, let's see. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. As you can see today, we're talking about why are more men not involved in civic activities. Always a story behind everything. Most of the topics that I have, there's always something that happens that gets my attention. Backgrounds are so different, but yeah, just making some moves around here in my local office. Uh, yeah, trying to prepare for a whole nother level. So, listen, there's some things I want to talk about as well. Talking about speaking of activities, one, make sure you're sharing. Make sure you're sharing, letting everybody know that the brothers are on. Um, Blessings, Lisa. Blessing. What's up, Richard? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of all that we do. What up, Jeff? What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Make sure you're sharing, letting everybody know that we are on. Um, I got some things I want to discuss. If you're on the YouTube space, there's a link that I pinned to the top. I'm gonna do it in Facebook. I gotta wait because I gotta go live on Facebook because now that they changed it, every scheduled live is now an event. So, so make sure if you're in the YouTube space, there's a link at the top um, giving you several ways to give. Yes, I'm leading off with this because we get into our conversations and it slips my mind sometimes. Giving you several ways to give. We have some things that we're working on, solidifying our incorporation, getting our 501c3. Good morning, John. Um, and your financial help is definitely needed, and there are other ways to give. Do you mean community groups, voluntary groups, or do you mean politics? All of the above. Vote all of the above. I remember that movie, Bruce's Million. So something like that, Rich. I'm gonna slice it up a little bit, slice and dice. I always kind of make it broad enough to enhance the conversation, but I want to narrow it down a little bit. All right. So again, if you're on the YouTube space, check that link out. Gives you several ways to give back to the Brothers of Legacy, especially there's some educational programs in there as well. And midway, all right, Jeff Peoples is coming through. Appreciate it, Johnny O. Hopefully I can call you that, Johnny O. I know I don't know you. So listen, we're gonna go ahead and kick this off, and we'll be right back right after this. Make sure you share, tag somebody, let everybody know that the brothers is in the building. Yeah.
How goes it?
All is well. All is well.
Good
All
man.
right. Hold on. Oh, we gotta recognize Kaneem's name today. I think I know that. I've heard that name before. Pastor Troy.
Hmm.
Pastor
I don't know that
Troy.
name.
And he was a rapper. Well, he was a rapper, right? Rapper.
He's a rapper.
But not. Yeah, I don't. Not gospel though. He was. What he like? I can't remember. Yeah, right. See your face because he wasn't like gospel. He was. I don't think he was, but I might be wrong. I
Hmm.
swear I heard that name before. I can't remember. Got to get the
I,
song though. Like, got to get
I,
the hit.
I was
What's the
gonna,
hit?
I'm gonna leave you in limbo. I'm gonna let some of the listeners see if they want to chime in.
All
I,
right,
I, was-
Pastor
I was about
Troy.
to say it, but
Yeah, don't
it's,
say it.
it,
Don't say it. Give us an opportunity.
I guarantee you it'll get your blood circulating.
What, Pastor Troy?
Yeah.
Get your blood circulating. Who knows Pastor Troy in the building? Who knows who Pastor Troy is? Speaking of Pastor Brian McCrory in the building. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning,
All
VOL
right.
family. Jeff Carlin,
Let's see.
I was
And
laughing at your new camera. I saw the video.
yes,
The
it
camera
was
was
like
running away from you, man.
well, I don't want to talk about it here because we're going back and forth. So I was trying to figure out, I guess it just finds you and focus. You got to get the center point, and because every move is like,
And then the
school.
camera does a 360.
Oh, you know what? I didn't watch it. Also started turning. Oh wow.
So the camera on its own just all of a sudden does a 360, and then it comes all the way back around, and Jeff's like, "Hello, you coming back?" It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Wow. All right.
Oh, so he's not a pastor, not a gospel rapper.
I knew it. I knew it.
I don't know
Just
Pastor Troy. I have to look that up.
I like I tell Kaneem all the time. Like sometimes the name slip me, but you throw me the hit. I'm like, oh, I remember that dude.
Like
It's a
I said,
song. We gotta get it.
somebody in the comments is going to give you that little nugget
Right.
you need to be like, yep, that does get the blood circulating. Yep. I think I might put that in my workout music. Yep, that works out.
Oh, he got a
That's
hype song. Okay. I'll definitely check it out. All right, so guys, welcome to the Brothers of Legacy. So as you can see, the title "Why Are More Men Not Involved in Civic Activities?" And I came up with this. I recently, I'll say, and I'm keeping real, keep 100. I'm gonna be transparent. Was kind of like drafted to the uh, middle school board, like the school board, not school board. Let me say that correctly. The name is escaping me, but not a board, but just in that particular council.
Council,
That's the
council,
yes, there's
student,
council,
student,
student,
not student council, but a
but
parent
the
council.
like a parent
school council.
school council. So it's like
It's not
school
even a
council.
parent.
Yeah, it's a school council. Yeah, so it's a mixture of teachers, parents, and parents that own businesses. So it's like a conglomerate of community leaders or community folks coming together
Yeah.
to that's intentions to help the school. Like how could we improve the school? So and in the meeting, um, like we couldn't officially have a meeting because we were missing like two of the parents. Because it's the bylaws say there's got to be a certain number of people and stuff like that for a
Gotta have
meeting
enough
to
people to vote.
officially take place. So she talked, but she was like, "This is not an official meeting, So there's gonna be another. We have to have another meeting this month,
To make it
because
official.
yeah, because we can't put it on record, that we actually met or whatever. So and I say all that because you begin
Quorum
to
is
talk
what it is. You
about
have to have a quorum.
core. There we go. That's the word. Thank you, sir. He's very versed in this. Um, um, So she began just to talk about some of the concerns or issues, just like sharing like the reason we need to have this, because she was talking about the track situation and the football field where there's bleachers on one side but no bleachers on the other side. So I think well, of course the bleachers are probably for the away team, but as home team we have to bring our own chairs, and I was like, what? And the way the but you're like, how you not see it, but the way the state or field is, it's up on a hill. So unless you purposely go up there, you don't see it. You have no idea what it looks like. It's like, we need a new track. So you go up there, it's concrete. It's not like the track where it takes some shock. It's like hard concrete. And if you ever went around a track enough, the good ones, you'll know the difference. So I went up there and looked, and it kind of sparked me. I was like, oh man. So I felt bad, one, that we didn't have enough representation. I felt bad, two, because I had to get drafted into this. Meaning I should have been like, yeah, it's a go. I'm in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the jump. And it came, and I started thinking about, why don't we get more involved civically? Now, just for the record, and Kaneem would probably mention he's part of a couple of the programs in his kids' schools, passes in part of some of the programs in different schools that his kids aren't related to, so he gets an extra gold star for that one. So I'm just putting that out there. Like, these gentlemen are a part of schools, but it's like there's not enough. They probably see it. They probably walk in and like they may be the only man in a room full of like teachers that are women. The only dudes that may be in there are probably other employees, and yeah, every once in a while you get another father. And only time, and can we keep it real? Only time we show up, because we talked about it at the meeting, non-meeting, when things go bad, when things be about to get taken away, and 9 times out of 10, by the time you reacted, we've already voted. We've already made a decision. We already talked about it. There was the talk for the talk, then the next talk, and then the discussion, then the vote. Like, you missed all of that. You reacting. You're reacting because you have no idea what's going on. So today he said I need to borrow the fastest. Not sure what that means. I'm a little slow this morning.
You said I get a gold star for being involved in the school.
Oh, borrow one of fastest gold stars. I need to borrow one. But so today I kind of want to talk about that. Like, what are some of our roadblocks to being involved civically? Like in our schools, part of our boards, and then stretching out. Can we stretch past just where our children are involved? I mean, I get it, because time says my involvement has to be where my kids can get something out of this. And then if I got extra time, maybe I can help the rest of the community. But, if I'm getting involved, you want your children to reap the benefit. Granted, you don't want to be serving your time and volunteering somewhere else where your children are over there struggling and not reaping the benefits. And Richard, you're right. But are we really that busy? Because that's what I want to get to as well. Are we really that busy?
I think that question is relative.
Yeah. 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 Right. Man, I've been busy.
I worked 4 long hours today.
Right.
I'm way too busy for that.
Right.
And I got to get ready to work 4 more hours tomorrow.
Right.
You don't know what those 4 hours take out of me.
Right.
So I don't have time.
I don't have time.
I had to wash my car today. And I washed the whole car and even armor all the tires. Wore out, man.
It wore me out. I'm tired. I ain't got time. So
it's relative.
It is. So the key is the priority, and I feel like, and I've talked about this before, like our lives, the way our lives start out, the way they're set up like I talk about when you graduate high school, is to get a job, to buy stuff, get a place, and it's like accumulate bills and then work to help pay off those bills, and that becomes kind of like the cycle. And as crazy as it sounds, it's like, yeah, that's it. that's it. Get out, go make But it's never. I'll say for me, like it's never the journey to further my community forward. You understand what I'm saying? It's never a goal until there's a problem. It's never a goal until I'm sitting in the middle of my community looking like, oh man, we all jacked up. Like now I need to try to do something. It's never like a goal, because even growing up you see things, but it's like I gotta get mine, and then when I don't need to get mine anymore, I worry about everybody else. But typical life, you're never gonna stop trying to get yours. Like so. I think it's our journey. Like, how do we, and just kind of thinking creatively, thinking outside the box, and just thinking the things that you do. How can we get out of our rhythm of what we've known as life and become more community minded? you know that's kind of like my question, my first question. Kaneem, what do you think, like how can we, what helped you kind of like become a little more community, because you're part of the boosters, and I was like, oh wow. Like, you know were were you drafted, or you sort of need?
Oh no, I was drafted. Um, yeah, no, I mean, my whole thing, I love kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right,
that period, point blank, I love the kids. So um, when my youngest daughter became a part of the FAME program, I was involved. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
whatever I could do to assist, they had a mandatory meeting, so they was
Okay.
asking all the parents what to who who could be involved, who can volunteer, and this, that, and the third. And I was like, yeah, I can volunteer some time, at least 4 hours a week. And they was like, 4 hours.
Goal right there.
Ooh,
What?
yeah, yeah. 4 hours. Okay. Can we split that up on certain days? All
Right.
right, all right, I got 4 hours.
That's one of the moments you be like, this is not a paid gig, right? You can
Yeah,
ignore that.
yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, I was so I just went in, but that was last year, right? So I was just
Okay.
volunteering time, but they
Okay.
saw that I was consistent. You know what I'm saying? When it was
That's gold
time for
right there.
practice, time
Right.
for shows
Right.
and
What's up,
everything, I
Rollins?
was
Good
there.
morning.
And I was when it came to um, the events, I was at the door taking money, scanning tickets and stuff like that when they
Right.
needed.
Right. Kadeem was a hero. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yes.
when they needed somebody to be somewhat of a chaperone for when they was
Okay.
practicing, because some of the students was leaving in and out of the theater.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They ordering Uber Eats and running outside, and wasn't nobody. So I'm like, hold on, pump your brakes. So doing this, those folks who was ordering DoorDash and Uber Eats, hey, they got to come all the way to the door. They got to get out the car, walk up the steps, come to the door, say your name, and then I'll call you.
Right.
And
Right.
you're not just gonna run outside in your leotard, in your
Right.
flesh tone
Wow.
leotard, might
Right.
I add you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
we're not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Plus, you supposed to be in here at all times, because
Right.
if you go out there and you decide not to come back in, we responsible.
Right.
So that was last year. This year, they like, well, we would like you to be the vice president of
All
Love.
right.
Well, I'm not campaigning for it.
You
Okay,
giving it.
yeah,
I give it.
like
Right.
okay.
Right.
So I became
Okay.
the vice president of the
Okay.
Booster Club of
Okay.
Fame. Like, okay. So, but no, I was not volunteering or campaigning for it. But when they asked me, I
Right.
was all in. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
didn't hesitate. So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
as far as civics,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Our community, it's kind of like, well, in my opinion, crabs in a bucket. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying?
What you
Because
mean?
everybody trying to get up, everybody trying. Because if you don't set the foundation for yourself, how
Yeah.
can you help somebody else? Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. They got some young folks
Right.
who have matured beyond their years,
Right.
but that's not the majority. Because I
Right.
don't know too many young folks. Now, when I say young folks, I mean 18 to 25.
Right. Right.
Ain't too many young folks civic minded. It's
Right.
entertainment. It's, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Maybe education,
Right.
but unless there is something that really pokes at them personally,
Right.
they're not
Something.
really trying to get. I mean, but like I say, that's just my opinion now. I
Right.
mean, it might be some young folks that's listening and be like, "You don't know what you're talking about, old man." You know
Yeah.
what I'm
First
saying?
off, if you out there, just said that, inbox me, my brother or my sister. Like, let me know
But that's
where
just
you
my
at.
it's mature individuals like
Right.
us right here. Like
Yeah.
we we
100%.
we thinking about it consciously. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Now, because
but
it's
but because we in our 40s,
right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
You
literally,
say
like, you know what
we?
I'm
Oh. Mm.
saying? Say again.
Did you say
Yeah.
we in our 40s?
He said we. Yeah.
Well,
He
we
said
know
we.
you in your 50s. I'm just saying. I'm trying to pull you back down. If you just roll with it, but
But
go
see,
ahead.
but see the
Speak
way
your
my
piece,
back's
brother.
set up.
Speak your piece. uh, but I'm just saying, once you get to a certain age and you are set or as a man, because we're talking about men, right? So
Right.
once you get to a certain age as a man
Right.
and you are confident in your manhood and you think that your maturation process has actually reached a peak,
Right.
then I think you may start to go back and be like, how can I help somebody, another young person or another young man or something like that, which would kind of lead you into, your community or civics.
Right. He said he's gonna be trying to help us, Pastor. Right. So
Yeah,
I mean, so you mentioned you're saying like the crabs in the bucket as far as like the paid positions, the top positions, you kind of. I mean,
well, well,
or
I got something in my eye and I can't get it out. Um,
the struggle is real.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I bet. Yeah, but anyway, no. When I say that, is everybody is trying to get their piece of the pie. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I can't share a piece of my pie until I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't go out and be like, okay, I want to help such and such and such and such. I got to be okay before I can help somebody else. You feel what I'm saying? Like if I'm not set, if I'm not secure, if I'm not
Right. Right.
don't
Right.
have the means or the resources,
Right.
how can I help somebody else when I'm struggling? I may need to reach out for help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when I reach out for help, it's because somebody else already has their stuff established or
Right.
they're grounded or you know what I'm saying? So,
I got what you're saying.
but
Uh,
that's just my opinion though.
I um I think he said live broadcast. Oh, he said all right. He said can't give out an empty bucket. I do feel like for the most part, there's generally you got time or money. Sometimes you don't have time, but you're making enough money. You got a little bit of money, but you may have some time. And I think if everybody, if we all, including myself, can be more community minded in how I can help, you know, in the spaces that I'm in, from your schools to your churches, the spaces that that you have family members that are invested in, and I broaden that a little bit, because even if you have children that are in the area that go to the schools or whatever, you know, how could I invest in, because we always know schools need help with something. So something. There's something going on at everybody's school today they need help with. They're like, man, I wish I had a parent here right now. They need some assistance. And I feel like if we are bred up, if we taught growing up into the community minded spirit, and I'm talking about next level, before anybody jump on me, I know you probably told your kids about sharing and being nice to elderly. I know. I'm talking about getting out, so, the question is, hey, you work there? Where are you serving? What organization are you in? Kind of like a threefold, right? You're making money, you serving in your church, but where are you serving outside? Like if it becomes and to me, things that become our foundation, that's kind of like the big, hairy, audacious. One of them big goals that I have as far as us as a community, where we become known for, really digging into our schools and the community and uplifting, like it becomes our DNA, if that makes sense. So, Pastor, I'm sorry. A lot's been said. How do you feel about, what are some of the roadblocks that you may see with civics or and for you, drafted or volunteered? Because sometimes, like, you may have got drafted, then you realize, then you start volunteering. Like everywhere you go, like, I know y'all need this, so where do I need to sign up?
There are multiple perspectives, multiple ways to look at it.
Right.
Why don't more men get involved?
Right.
Compared to who? Compared to women?
Or just in general.
So then the question is, where do you see the lack? Just where, because you can go anywhere and someone will say we don't have enough. I've yet to be a part of any organization ever that says we have everything we need in a volunteer-driven environment. There's never enough help. So the question is, where do you see this as a serious issue? It may be a serious issue in your specific demographic, but that does not mean everybody has that same issue. Also, are you looking in other areas? Because when you talk about, civic engagement,
yes,
there are a number of ways to give back.
Right.
You may not see a bunch of men at the school, but did you head over to the sports complex and see how many volunteer coaches there are? Because they're giving their time. There are a lot of men out there. Matter of fact, they're fighting each other. They're refereeing, they're coaching, they're doing all kinds of things.
Okay.
So you have to ask yourself, in what areas do we feel like we have challenges? And are we saying that women volunteer more than men? I would say, I'll bet you if you look at it statistically, you're going to find that more women volunteer than men.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Because typically men are driven to work.
Right.
I'm responsible for making sure I earn money.
Right.
Women are nurturing by nature because they have children.
Right.
So they spend their lives giving back. They give their bodies up to have children. Right. And when you're making that kind of sacrifice, you're going to make a serious investment in the livelihood or the experience for your children. And I think that sometimes that can be even more than most men, because most men are focused on trying to cover and protect and keep the house in order, keep the bills paid. So that's one thing.
Right.
The other thing is people give in multiple ways. I may not give my time, but I give my money.
Okay.
So that's engagement. So you have to break it down and talk specifically, I think, about areas of volunteerism, if that makes sense.
Right.
For me, I watched my mother. I didn't have a father growing up.
Right.
But my mother was a den mother when I was a Cub Scout.
Right.
So she gave back, even though she worked, but she had 4 sons and she knew she had to have us in something. But if we were going to be in there, she had to be engaged as well.
Right.
And that's the message to people. Like, if your children are here, you should give us time also, because somebody else's parent is here.
Right. Right.
Right. So that's what it has always been for me. I watched my mom volunteer, cook, bake, all of that stuff. You know, my first part-time job was the YWCA, where my mom worked as a teacher for early childhood education. And so I've always been in that mindset of giving back, because I played community sports and I saw all those parents out there.
Right.
So why are men not involved? They're working. They believe they're giving back.
Right.
They're confused about the definition of getting engaged. But I think that we have to be careful when we ask the question, why are more men not involved? We really need to find out how many are actually involved, because it may just be where I am. I don't see enough of them.
Okay.
That doesn't mean there aren't enough of them. Now, please understand, we always need more help. Kaneem said something interesting. He said that term I was voluntold.
Right. Yeah.
Because you start off doing something and you say 4 hours? Hercules.
Hey, we done hit the jackpot.
Yes, found our vice president. Right. But again, and some men give more than others. And also financial disposition could be this could be attributed to financial disposition, right? When you make a certain amount of money, you feel guilty not giving back. Right. There, it's amazing how the higher you are on the financial chain,
right,
the more willingness there is to volunteer.
Right. I got what you're saying.
Because you want to give back.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you got the money and you got the time.
Right. Because you've made things happen. And so, there are so many factors that can come into play. And then, if you do the research, like I'm in ministry, I pastor, and the church is overrun with women volunteers. Where are the men in the church? Right. Well, you mean where are the men in your church?
Right.
Because I've also been involved in churches where I wasn't pastoring, and I could put a phone call out and I could get 100 men on site with no problem. When I lived in Los Angeles, I arranged a march. It was called Marching into the Millennium. We were heading into the year 2000. This was like 97. And we put 5,000 men on the street. And we marched from one end of Crenshaw to the other. 5,000 men. It was crazy.
Right.
5,000 men in one location.
Right.
And I'm the one who arranged it. Right. So it just depends on where you are, what the demographic is. I really, really believe that. And people who are in a struggle are not the people volunteering.
Right. Because it is a challenge. I think with that challenge, and why I speak to where the volunteerism becomes a part of our DNA, is just like as those that have had the discipline to give tithes, can maybe have that same discipline to give an hour a week, or 2 hours or an hour and a half, in certain spaces. And I do hear you, because I've been in churches where, it was like 30-1 ratio of man to woman. Oh, but then I've been in churches like, and I've been in awe, like, how does dude rally all these men? And he wasn't even like military or tough. He just like, how do you get all these men in there? Like, so
but sometimes it's because of the background of the leader.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. 100%. When you've been an athlete, when you've been a CEO, when you are a leader of, I think sometimes it works more to your benefit.
Right.
There's a sense of obligation for the people that you've helped along the way, that when you call, they'll come.
Right.
I know that the men in my life that I pray with, if I call them and I say, hey man, I need you, they're coming because they appreciate the prayers.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
The men who I've been blessed to be a blessing. Right. And I don't ask for anything back, but I may call you for some volunteerism. Right. I'll call you for this project. Will you come? Absolutely, man. I got you. Right. You had me.
Right.
You know, so there are a number, and I think those are the factors that come into play. And then you have folks who just commit their lives to just wanting to give back, and it doesn't matter 100%. What the situation is. They just going to do it simply because I was born to give back.
Right.
You know, I can't live without giving back. You know, I'm in ministry today because at one point in my life, I didn't know where I was going. Right. Well, that's a lot of points in my life. Today, no. But I got help.
Right.
And because I got help, I want to help.
Right.
You know, and you have, and I really, really believe that there are more helping than not.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
We never have enough.
Yeah.
But I believe
there's more helping than not.
I think the perception of it hurts us.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Because like you said, like my little corner, you know, I can only talk about what I see. And sometimes in the show, I try to make sure I tell I only got 2 eyes. I'm not everywhere, but the places I go consistently, this is what I see. This is, and if we were talking, like if there was a lack of even parentally, like I don't ever see, then it's like, well, maybe I'm just in an area where there's like single mothers, but I see like, some of these guys like on the car rides and they're in certain spaces. So it's there, it's just, I guess the conversation is engaging those that aren't engaged, like what's their gap, between work and I didn't try this stuff. Y'all don't really give me nothing to do because there's been those spaces like it's like 8 of us here, only 2 of us is doing stuff.
But the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
20% of the people do 80% of the work.
Well, yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like this is what I've learned. Let me ask a question.
Yes.
Kaneem, why are you on BOL?
One, well, I mean, I got a list, but
don't tell them about the check.
What?
Give the answer. We need the public needs to hear.
One is because of AD. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying.
But what does that mean? Stop right there. What do you mean by because of AD?
Because when we first met, I thought he was cool as heck. Cool as cool.
That's cool.
Okay. Okay.
Let me start right. So I mean, we and I wanted to build a genuine friendship with AD. You know what I'm saying? So in order for me to build that genuine friendship with him, I had to put in some time. I had to invest in our relationship. So we got cool, and he invited me on. And I was like, I was most appreciative. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, because I had never done it before. So,
right.
It was all new to me. So, once I got on, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I got to meet a lot of interesting people through the socializing with him. And, so, I mean, plus I wanted to be a better individual.
Okay, pause. Because you give it more than enough. You give it more than enough. Here's where you had me. And I cut you off intentionally because you said I connected with AD and I saw value in this relationship. And basically, in so many words, it was worth investing my time in, right? But when it comes to BOL, it was because of the invitation.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of men aren't there because nobody asked them.
Mm. Okay. Okay. I feel.
Okay.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, brother.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
All
just the
right.
reality. We go into a thing
Yeah.
as men and we
Yeah.
don't see anybody, and what we say is, man, ain't nobody, they ain't doing nothing. I'm going
Right.
home.
Right.
Instead of,
Right.
you know
Right.
what? I need to call Jeff.
Right. 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 Right.
I need to call John. I need to call Sean. Hey, man, can I get you for an hour on Tuesday the 17th? Nah, I can't make it on the 17th, bro. How about 17th of next month?
Right.
I need you for an hour in this project, and here's what we're doing.
Right.
Right? Most men aren't there because they didn't get the invitation.
Right. Right. That's good.
Kaneem is there. Jeff put it in here because it's in his heart
Right.
to give back.
Right. So, yeah, I believe
Right?
that.
So you have to have a heart for it.
Right.
That's what just it's a heart thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you need an invitation.
Right.
Men will show up if you ask them to.
Right.
Right?
Right. Mm-hmm. You're right.
If you take a poll,
You're right. That's good.
your best weapon is recruitment.
Yeah.
Who's calling the men asking them to come out?
No, that's true. That's true.
Right.
I know when I make a call, they usually show up.
Right.
Yeah. If you're calling people that you're invested in,
Right.
because they have enough respect and investment in you, they're going to come when you call.
Right. Right.
And then the person you call finds joy in what we're doing, and then he calls somebody.
Right. Right.
Right. So why aren't more men there? Sometimes it's because no one has asked them.
Right. So what I need y'all to do right now is ask your friends, your family, your brothers, your sisters. Share this broadcast. Let them know that the Brothers of Legacy are on. See? He just gave you the solution. Go ahead and share. Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
So
And that's the other piece. Have wisdom.
Yeah.
When you're reaching out to people.
Oh, man, yeah. Definitely.
You got somebody who you know is busy. Don't call them and ask them to come over here for a whole day.
Right. Right.
Ask them for 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's good.
So they can feel the joy, because 30 minutes will become an hour just because of the feeling, the emotional benefits that you get from giving back. You're dealing with children. You see the smiles on the children's face. Oh, no, them children are a bunch of knuckleheads. Yeah, but you know what? You had an impact.
Right. Right. Right.
Right.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. That's good. That's good. I want to get the comment with it. Let's see. Let's get Dr. Rollins first. She said, I was wondering if people are just fatigued. Everything sounds good, but when it comes to action, it just seems like there's no capacity to do or think about one more thing to do. This pandemic has had so many effects that we don't even fully know yet. Indeed.
And I think that goes back to people that are in a struggle, that are already having a hard time. Right. It's difficult to volunteer when you are already feeling like you're having a hard time. You're struggling to make it. It's exactly the right point, Dr. Rollins.
Right.
Some people don't volunteer as much as they used to.
Right.
Some folks have stopped because they don't want your bacteria.
Right. Right. Right.
I haven't been on a plane since COVID.
True.
Still.
Yeah, me neither. Jeff says that's right. If you let them know that you don't want them for 9 hours, you only want them for 1 hour, you're gonna get more of it. Yeah. And I think a lot of times, kind of getting into the weeds of inviting and having somebody come out or do something is the time, because we've all at least one time someone invites you to something that's gonna be consistent. You go and we there way too long. like, yeah, I ain't never coming back to this. This is all day. I thought this was gonna be like 2 hours or something. Or it's like it's unfruitful. You just like, we just here all day for that. Hey, I gotta clean my toenails or something. I got stuff do. I got stuff to do. Or I'd rather be. Right. And it's all what do you say, all day long. Right. Right. And that's just the word out for anybody that when you're planning and putting stuff together, like be mindful of people time. Be mindful of people time. Like if there's a
No,
start
you know
time.
what I say to people? Here's the thing. I can't be like this is what I say to people. This is one of my famous phrases.
Okay.
I'll always do what I can, but I'm not going to do what I can't.
Indeed. Yeah. 100%.
Right.
100%.
What hurts us is we do what we can't, and then we never do it again.
You never do it again
because we leave bruised.
That's true. That's true. That's indeed. That's true.
Right.
That happens.
And some of us don't feel appreciated.
Okay.
I went over there, did all that work, and nobody even said thank you. They won't get me again. They didn't even have any water. They had us over there for 3 hours and didn't feed us anything but crackers and peas. Man, what is wrong? I'm not going back over there. Well, did you go to eat or did you go to work?
Right.
Why didn't you pack a lunch?
Right.
So, I mean, there's so many factors. I heard from a man 22 years ago. He said to me, we were doing this breakfast, this volunteer men's breakfast on a Saturday morning. Man, I could cook my grits at home and just eat, watch college football. Okay. And I'll never forget this day. One guy I thought he was faithful.
Okay.
He came in, got mad, and he had the biggest truck of everybody on site. So it was his truck, right? That transported food, frozen food, and all that stuff. And he got mad, took his truck and went home. And I was like, wow. And I don't know. I think I was probably 22 years ago. Do the math. 50.
I got you. 30-something.
And I said, why would he just leave like that? No, and this gentleman said to me, Brian, sometimes all they need is an excuse.
Right. Well, that too.
Not to.
You're right.
All they need is an excuse not to.
Yeah.
I would have been there, but I had to take my dog. I would have been there, but my wife was late getting home with the car.
Right.
Well, you could have showed up late.
Well,
late is better than never. Right? Some people just need an excuse.
I know this is like a separate podcast or separate broadcast, but why is it hard to just like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, no, I don't really want to go.
Jeff said that a minute ago. Jeff said, I've never really been interested in things like that.
And listen, shout out to Jeff for that. Like, I ain't interested, Oh.
I would ask Jeff how many children he has.
I have no problem saying no.
Right. Yeah, I struggle with it. I ain't gonna lie.
With what?
I struggle. Like
saying no.
just straight up no.
Because you have a heart for giving.
Yeah, I think I got a heart, but I
think so.
I still would say no. Yeah.
Still say just straight up no. Just like I don't like this. I don't feel like it.
I remember when I was shopping for a car for my daughter Brienne, and I was talking to Kaneem, and I told him we had found this car and there were some issues with the car, and I wanted to find out if these people were telling me the truth and all of that. Right. Remember that, Kaneem?
Yeah.
And Kaneem was like, yeah, well, just call me. And I was like, no, man, I really I feel like if they see you there and hear your expertise. And Kaneem said that he said, so what you're really trying to say is you want me to drive there. You want me to meet you there. You want me to be on site.
You want me to go with you.
Right. You want me to go with you.
Right.
And I was like, yes, man, I would like for you to come with me.
Yeah.
I would feel better if you're there.
Yeah. Cut all the fluff.
But I could hear in his mind, man, ain't nobody trying to drive all the way over there. Right. But he said, I will.
Yeah, I'm about to say, right?
He said, I will. But here's the thing. He didn't have to.
Right. Of course.
And even if he didn't really, really want to drive all the way over there just to look at a car,
I
he was
did.
going to do it anyway.
I was.
Yeah, he was going to do it anyway. What's funny is it could have just as easily been, man, you don't need me over there for that.
Right.
I can do that over the phone.
Yeah. Right.
But you called on me, so I mean, our relationship. If you
It's
say,
the
I
heart.
need you to be, I need you to be somewhere.
Right.
It's the heart. It's still at the end of the day, it still goes back to the heart.
But you know what it is, and you know what, Kaneem, like you guys, I could. It would be hard pressed for me to say no unless I really had something else. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, he never said no.
Yeah, I know.
He was trying to figure out.
What we gonna do? What you need?
He was trying to get clarity about what I was really asking.
Right now, what you need?
Yeah.
What are you really asking me? That's what he was saying.
Yeah, that's why I was saying cut through all the fluff. It'd be like, hey, I need you to be here with me. I'm going to.
And what I wanted was him to voluntarily say, hey, man, what time do you want me to be there?
I wasn't gonna do it all that.
I ain't volunteer, but if you ask me,
I wasn't gonna do that. That's part of that. No, I was not gonna do that.
But that's real. You know what I mean? But again, like when you consider moments like that,
right?
Moments like that are character defining moments, right? When you're gonna do it anyway, right? Because Kaneem and I had not developed the type of relationship that he and AD had developed. We knew of each other. We've known each other for years. But we had never really connected like that, you know. So that was like an hour drive. You know, so it takes a lot. And what I'm saying is, if you don't have a heart for helping people, that's an issue. I'm not saying it's a bad issue, but it is something that you have to think about. Right? But before you think about that, Kaneem may not have come to me on that car, right? He was willing to do that. Let me make that very, very clear. Yeah. And this has nothing to do with him not wanting to help me. Yeah. It was him wanting to get clarity. But as grown men, we do take our time seriously. Right. We are careful. We are thinking about where we're spending our time. Right. And what I've learned in life is something that may feel like a life-changing moment for you could be a piece of lint for someone else. Right. 100%. And unless you can explain that and help them understand that, you're going to walk away frustrated. Indeed. Right? 100%. What I appreciate about that moment is Kaneem was like, I need clarity. What are you really asking? And that's my point. We ask people to do stuff and they don't even know what we're asking. Right. Some people don't show up because they don't have an understanding. They don't have clarity. Right. Whoa, that's good. Even when you ask, what are you really asking me? Don't ask me to show up without telling me what I'm showing up for. Right. Some people need that kind of clarity. That's real. Definitely. That's real. And you have to respect that. So some folks don't show up because they didn't get enough information. Well, I know you said the 17th, but you didn't tell me where, you didn't tell me what we were doing, so I didn't worry about it. Yeah. You called me one time and asked me, you never followed up. Right. Well, I was waiting for you to call me back. Why would I be calling you when you asked me for something? Right. There's so many things, I've been in that. Because you know what? Because it's already hard. It's like, and it ain't got nothing to do with you, but it's already hard for me to initially ask, but I got to follow up with my ask, and I'm struggling. But now I'm struggling by myself doing whatever it is that I'm doing because I didn't follow up, and it's not on you, it's on me, to really I don't like asking because I don't like rejection. Well, man. I don't like being told no, so I'm not going to ask anybody. Well, then you'll be by yourself. Right. Yep. So today's message: get involved, have a heart to give. And speaking of giving, so in the if you're in Facebook or YouTube, there's a link posted, a link pinned
comment, you can click on that link and it will send you to be able to give financially to the Brothers of Legacy, as well as other opportunities to. There's some services that there's affiliates to. So if you sign up for those services, we get a small piece of your using these services. There's an educational service, StreamYard, and there's something else that I just can't think of right now. Also, and I kind of put it on the back burner. I had to pull it out, dust it off. Have a connection with Everify. So if you have children that are in school, I have a financial literacy program. Financial literacy program. So tomorrow I'll have the link out. You can sign up, and I will connect you with that. So a financial literacy program, and it remains free because we do some things. So contributing to us helps keep things at a low cost, free. So connect. So make sure you are contributing back to the Brothers of Legacy. We're going to be doing a lot of amazing things going into next year. Had a meeting last night. Definitely gonna send that recording to Pastor, which is partly my fault because I sent the link late. Thought I sent it to everybody, so I gotta get everybody in one space. Telling on myself.
You asked me to be on a call and then you don't send the link.
I know, but so
don't ask me to be on another call. I'm done with you.
You done? Done.
Done.
So make sure you guys stay connected. If anything, stay connected to the Brothers of Legacy. Text LW into 84576. Text LW into 84576. Never miss a broadcast or anything that's going down with the Brothers of Legacy. Listen, we appreciate you guys for being here and being part of all that we do. And thank you guys for coming through. She said, wonder about that. Yeah. Click on it. He said, right. So Pastor 5 and 6.
There it is.
I'm out. Here it is. I was waiting for that moment.
There it is.
I was waiting for that moment. So appreciate you guys. So make sure you share. Real talk. If you're on the text community, share your texts out to other people. Say, hey, why don't you check these guys out? Give them a shot. Subscribe. If you don't ever come back, it's fine. But check out some of the broadcasts. All right. So do that. Help us out. Help us grow. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. I got my brother Matt Genius coming through. Mental Health Wednesday. And we're going to text messed me up. So we're gonna have him on discussing some topics that he's ready for. All right, I'm good. I'm done. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same channel. If all hearts and minds are clear, know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. Stay safe.
You said if all hearts and minds are clear. You didn't give us a chance to respond.
See, I tried to slide past that, Kaneem, right?
Here's the thing. This is the thing. Whether you're giving 5 minutes or 5 hours,
yes,
your participation is always helpful.
Definitely. Yes. 100%.
People are not going to always have all the answers that you need. They're not going to always have all the details that you need. There may be issues in the infrastructure, the programming, and all of that. But it's better when we do it together.
Right.
Your greatest ability is your availability.
Right.
And everybody needs somebody. So I'm saying that a lot of us feel like there's nothing we can contribute. Well, I've learned there's something called the ministry of presence. Right. Sometimes just showing up makes all the difference. Definitely. Just someone seeing your face on site makes all the difference. So just consider that when you think about civic engagement and involvement. There's always something, and your presence will always make a difference. You're never losing when you're giving. Right. The Lord says it's blessed, more blessed to give than it is to receive. Give, the Bible says, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, shall men give unto your bosom. For with the same measure, in other words, the way that you give is the way that you receive. Indeed. So be a willing giver. And I promise you, you can't go wrong in that.
There you go. But there it is. All hearts and minds are clear. Yay, man. Let's appreciate you guys for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, wait. Stay safe. 988. Supposed to remind me, Pastor Troy. 988. Mental health crisis.
Caring
You
and
want someone you
sharing.
know. And caring is sharing. Sharing is caring. All that and then some. Peace out.
Yeah, I said it back.